Not sure if many of you know, but we do have a virtual tier within the Design Coven, virtual pro member tier, which includes 3 virtual meetings a month where we set intentions. We do group coaching. So bring all your questions. We answer those questions and you get to learn from other people going through the same struggles as you. We also do a business practice meeting. So we'll have somebody on to share a business practice that we can all benefit from. And then we also do a product training. So getting a sustainable, eco-friendly line to come on, share who they are so that we can be supported with other like-minded businesses. And if you're not quite ready for pro, you can always join our free community where you will connect with other like-minded holistic interior designers. You don't have to be an interior designer if you are kind of just dabbling or you're aspiring or you're looking into this field. We invite everybody from all journeys, and you don't, again, have to be a designer. You don't have to have a degree. We're just a beautiful community of like-minded people looking to create healing spaces, not just for ourselves, but for our clients and future clients. Come join us at designcoven.com/join. Welcome to episode 72 of the Holistic Interior Design Business Podcast. And today we're talking all about human-centered design. I know that's a huge buzzword right now, but basically it's all about design, putting the human first. And today we have founder Allan of Dynamo Design Group and his partner Ron to talk about their process and how they incorporate human-centered design into their business. They're both very amazing creatives here in San Diego. Let me tell you a little bit more about them. Allan Manzano has a 20-year plus career expanding to household brands such as Sony, Bekin, Roxy, and Gap. He served as an art and creative director for multiple design agencies in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. He was born and raised in San Diego and received an undergraduate degree at San Diego State University in 2001 and his MFA at the Academy of Art University. Being home has allowed him to share his knowledge with local educational programs. Allan lends his time to nonprofit organizations such as a teaching artist at A Reason to Survive, otherwise known as ARTS, and recently served as the Director of Education for the American Institute of Graphic Arts, AIGA, in San Diego. Allan is currently a professor at Arizona State University and teaches design communication. In 2022, Allan founded Dynamo Design Group, DDG, a minority-owned and inner-city creative agency that creates to motivate positive vibes in people and peak performances for business. And we also have Ron Padua, partner at Dynamo Design Group. Ron is a professional illustrator and concept designer here in San Diego. He studied graphic design at San Diego City College and illustration at Entertainment Design Art Center, Los Angeles. His creative career took off at the Los Angeles-based broadcast company TZLA. There he created network IDs, brands, and on-air promos. Clients included the Sci-Fi Channel, Discovery Channel, HBO, ABC, FX Channel, and Hollywood Squares. Shortly after, the company closed its doors and Ron decided to test the freelance market, which landed clientele such as the Aspect Ratio, RG/LA, J. Walter Thompson, Blind Visual Propaganda, New Wave Entertainment, and Starbucks Coffee Corp. He then began working at Sony PlayStation's San Diego, where he was a lead concept artist for Sony's Visual Art Service Group. He eventually became art director, developing cinematics for PlayStation video games. And he is one of the principal partners at Dynamo Design Group with Allan. And we get to dive into their stories and just how they are as a creative agency. They would make a beautiful partnership for anyone that is looking to create their brand in collaboration with them. Again, it's all about human-centered design. So we talk about their process And yeah, I'm super excited about this episode. I hope you find it inspiring. You're listening to the Holistic Interior Design Business Podcast. This is a podcast that guides you as a new or inspiring independent interior designer navigating your entrepreneurial path. Here, with my over 20 years experience, I will share my holistic approach to design with intention and ancient practices, including feng shui, all incorporating mind, body, and spirit into my design projects. You will also learn from seasoned interior designers as they give strategies and insight of how they built their businesses and continue to work in the field. Together, we will discover supportive trade partners, new ideas, creatives, and inspiring artists from around the world. I am your host, Rachel Lorraine Crawford. Welcome to the Holistic Interior Design Business Podcast. Today, I have Dynamo Design Group on with us. I've got Allan and Ron. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I just met Allan just earlier this week, and we connected obviously over our Filipino heritage, which I always feel like I'm always connecting to people with that sort of background, which is fantastic. But we're talking about human-centered design, and we're going to go into what the heck that means, because that was a new term that I heard about from Allan, and I was like, oh my gosh, no, I need to have you guys on the podcast because our designers need to know what this is all about. So before we start, I'm going to go ahead and light a candle. We're going to set our space. We're going to be intentional about our time here. So Allan, I think you said you're an Aries, right? Fire element?
No, I'm a Pisces. I'm a fish.
Oh, you're Pisces. You're water.
Yeah. Bird.
Yeah.
Pisces.
Got it. Why did I think you're an Aries?
What are you,
What
Ron?
about Ron?
I'm a virgin. I mean, a Virgo.
Nice.
Virgo.
So we got some
Virgos.
earth and water, and then you probably don't know what your third partner is, do you?
Ryan is June. It's June.
What is it?
22nd.
Oh, Gemini? Oh no, Cancer. So the 22nd, he's right on the cusp. Yeah. Awesome.
He said hello, lad.
I didn't get to meet him, so I'll have to have another in-person meeting. All right, so I'm going to pull a crystal card for us today. And the cards, they're just a way to sort of connect with our energies, a way to connect with our subconscious. So there's no need to feel nervous here. I can see there's a little bit of something happening there.
Man, I'm gonna get struck by lightning. I'm telling you.
As you're right. This is psychic intuition and guidance. And this is connected to the third eye chakra. The affirmation is, I open my mind to guidance and new possibilities, which is exactly what I would love to have happen here, is new possibilities for everyone that's listening and involved and connection and opening ourselves up to this new idea of human-centered design.
Mm-hmm. All about possibilities. As we tell our clients all the time. There's so many possibilities with your brand.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's endless. So tell me, I always ask and open the circle here with, what is home? What's home for you guys at the moment?
Home. Take that word, Ron.
Home. Home is where you hang your hat.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, for us, I think home, here is definitely the South Bay. When I think about what that means for home, it's the South Bay. I'm originally from San Diego, obviously, but Imperial Beach.
Okay.
So, and I've always thought that home for me is definitely, here, rooted in San Diego. Our interest, obviously, Rachel, we're here in National City. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Part of it, and I think that's home for me. All this like ethnic Filipino, culture, diversity, with our neighbors from the South too, with a lot of Hispanics here, which is our homies and our friends, our family too as well. You know what I mean? I think that's home for me. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think home is all about where you're at mentally, spiritually. For a while, I never thought I'd be back here in San Diego.
Yeah, because I think we all both transplanted from, not transplanted, but left home. We left San Diego to, further ourselves as far as careers, education, and so forth, family, and coming back. And I mean, you know, I know Allan spent some time up in the Bay, you know, Los Angeles, and so did I, you know, in LA. But, you know, I knew like for quite some time, I've always wanted to come back to San Diego.
Yeah.
Because it is home, you know, and that to me was important, you know. And so,
See, I never knew I wanted to come back.
yeah,
I actually did not want to come back.
Really?
Yeah, and I just felt like I loved San Diego so much that I had to leave it, you know. But I think as life occurs and things are thrown your way, family especially,
Yeah.
you tend to go back to where that upbringing happened.
yeah.
And it happened here, so I'm truly blessed that I'm back. So,
Oh, it's so
for me
awesome.
is back here in San Diego, and I'm excited.
It's
Yeah.
too big.
For sure. Yeah, I never left. I mean, I grew up here and I never left. I would go to my dad's house every summer, Northern California. So I knew what it was like outside of San Diego, and I knew it was super special. So I don't think I ever had the need to leave, but we would travel a lot and then always return home.
It's hard to, I mean, a lot of people that do leave San Diego, I think they always say, man, it's hard to leave there. You know, it's just so hard because it's so beautiful here, right? The diversity, the people, the food, you know, everything about it. Obviously the weather, and those are kind of cliche, but it's absolutely true. You know what I mean? So, you know, with the Padres, you know, that are winning now, all the people that are from Philly coming here, they're just looking around going, what this is beautiful.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. You can't leave.
Cool, man. That's home for us.
Amazing. And how did you guys get together? Did you always know each other? Or you've been friends for a long time, or?
I think being in the South Bay, our friends tend to intermingle with other friends, and we're especially in Paradise Hills where I grew up. There's so many cliques that tend to kind of overlap, and I met Ron through my wife's choir friend, which is
my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Together in church.
Yeah.
And they're a few years older than my wife and I. And I knew of Ron also through the Jacobs Center.
Okay.
Which is an educational program here off Ontario. And I think, Ron, you were teaching there.
Yeah, I was teaching at the Jacobs Center, teaching a lot of at youth risk.
Okay.
You know, at youth risk. Is that how I say it?
Yeah.
At youth. And for the juvenile court schools. And I was, we had like a kind of like a mentor, kind of like special guest, and Allan and a couple of colleagues did a presentation of their work and what they've been up to. And we kind of connected on that level, you know, and then I started, and then like everything else, you know, in the Filipino community, we do the thing and say, oh, where are you from? And he said,
you try to sweat me.
You know, he was like, man, where are you from? And he's like, PH. I was like, hey, easy, bro. Yeah, I just asked where you from.
Oh, sorry, I sized him up. I was like,
wow,
bro. Pretty hard.
Damn.
Wow.
But it was all good. And I was like, man, love your work and so forth. And then, you know, we stayed in contact that way. We knew some of the same, like you said, same friends and family. And next thing you know, we kind of hit him up. I had to hit him up and say, hey, man, I've been doing a lot of mentorship, you know, with the school districts and mentoring young artists and
amazing
entrepreneurs. And I said, hey, would you like to kind of do a workshop of some sort? And then it kind of built up, and I knew he had like DDG in the back of his portfolio and whatnot. And next thing you know, we were like, hey, do you want to start something up? And I know you've had it, but and then Allan just said, I've always wanted to have an agency, you know. And I said, I think we all have, but it's really his baby. And he just kind of said, why don't we just form DDG, you know, bring it back. And I've been wanting to do this, like really, you know, start grassroots and then work its way up. So the beginning of this year, we got together.
That was the common thread. The common thread for us
was
education. Yeah. Most agencies, you know, they harp on their awards and their work. But I think for us as a group, and I tell the guys, it's like, yes, we'll get all of those accolades once we put our effort into it, but our identity really stems from education and the importance of it through design and art and culture. So that's really a key takeaway I want people to understand is what sets us apart is that we're one, the South Bay, and two, we approach our projects in a more holistic way, dealing with not only byproduct, but also the humanistic approach. and
Yeah.
all this stuff, education.
So can you share with us what services you have to offer and what does your agency do?
So I come from a branding design. I was a trained graphic designer.
Okay.
Have studied that for 10 years because I have a master's in it as well. So I do a lot of brand
Wow.
development, meaning obviously people want a logo. Yes, we do that.
It's so much more than that.
That's always the first thing, right? Oh, we need a logo. Okay.
Dude, my mom thinks I make bumper stickers for her.
Or it's always, oh, I need a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. You can go to Walmart for that.
Which we can do.
Which is fine.
We do that, but there's more layers to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where education kind of comes in. But we offer brand services from identity, meaning your watermark, your logo.
Okay.
And we walk you through the process of how to apply it. So then when it comes to your product, your service, how you as the sole owner can expand on it. So we do design. Ron's a trained illustrator, so we offer some motion graphics.
Wow.
We have a team. Well, my wife also, who's an interior designer, will help with some experiential spaces. So when it comes to the space planning and out of home office type work, she can help there. Most of all, I think we're more of a think tank beyond.
Yeah.
We're a think tank that clients, they come here, they hang out, and we kind of like deep dive into how we can creatively execute their problems thoughtfully.
Yeah. So if we have, let's say, a new aspiring designer that wants to connect with you to help identify their values and their message and who they are and who they want to serve, and how do you implement that into color and the brand identity, that's something that you can take them.
Yes, that's it. And like I said, it's usually a byproduct or end product, but I think we dive deeper with our clients. We're pretty intimate and get their story up front, and we jump on that. And we our motto is you write the story, we tell it. So we listen to your story and like deconstruct it and apply it in different possibilities.
I think that intimacy with our clients is more like we say, human centered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that whole intimacy really works, with them, because we just want to be on the same level with them. We don't want to be like, oh, we know it all and all this. But we want to get to know them, right? A lot of people do, especially with the day since what we went through as a country, a couple of years ago, everyone just went digital, which is fine. I get it, but the world did. But we still have to figure out we're still human beings. We do need to interact. So I think that's very important for us.
Yeah. So can you elaborate on what is human-centered design? What is your definition, or what is your take on that?
So human-centered design talks about, it's a design process. As designers, usually we try to get the problem and solve it instantly. But it's a design process utilizing the human behavior, the emotions, the design thinking. So for example, a person who wants a logo or app design. The byproduct is the app or the logo, but what we try to do, or what's defined as human-centered design, is deconstructing that and walking them through the process. And it's a lot of buzzwords, but I think here at DTG we interpret it differently, and Ron could probably define that and how we would.
Yeah.
Human-centered. Like I said, I think it's just honestly interaction with human beings.
Simple as that.
Simple, and talk about our diversity, right? And things of that nature. And we said it's boots to the ground, right?
Yeah, we approach things that way. Like,
we talk to our neighbors, we go on and we say, hey, here's who we are. We're not trying to be like, we're in a cool building and everything. You've been to the space. And,
it's awesome.
But, the community around us, obviously, we want to go and talk to our neighbors. And how do you get that diverse, cultural interaction with people, that human interaction? It's like you go knock on the neighbor's door and introduce yourself. Introduce yourselves to the neighborhood. Introduce yourselves to the companies here, the mom and pops, that've been here for over 30 years. We've had conversations with people down the street that with what's his name, the dog over here, Lobo.
Oh, Lobo, our neighbor.
They've lived here for 30 years plus.
Oh my gosh.
They've seen everything in this neighborhood. We just love to talk to them. And Allan had helped one of their aunts or grandmas walk through the door and stuff and everything.
But that's how we define human-centered design, where we're people first. Right?
Yeah,
got
We're
it.
creative seconds.
Yeah.
Creative second on the priority list, but we're human first. And it's a design thinking process of researching and discovery, and then design implementation, and then finally application. So it's a process that we internally execute on, but it's more of an abstract way where it's about this dialogue.
Got it.
Exactly.
And then we dive and apply the design aspects to it to make it visually more compelling.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many definitions, but we just define it as boots to ground, human interaction, and getting core root out of that person.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys really know how to tap into someone's psyche and just like their personality and who they are, and then being able to translate that and to share a nice light on it, and in a way that people maybe aren't able to reflect it out into the world. So I feel like a lot of times, our superpowers are those things that make us different. We kind of shy, we kind of tuck those things away, but maybe your superpower is to be able to shine light on that and to let people see what that is, and that's going to be why people want to work with you and connect with you, is because of these attributes that you carry that's so different.
It's interesting because I don't think it's intentional.
Yeah.
It's not intentional for us to we just had a potential client earlier where we asked, what happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're more curious. And the client went into into a real story about what he witnessed I would say in the prison system, and and what he had to go through and whatnot. He wasn't a prisoner himself, but he worked for the prison system.
Got it.
There were some mental things that went down, that it broke down on him due to the fact
Wow.
of something that out of his control, and it just steamrolled from there. And then you talked about to be blunt, he was able to carry a concealed weapon, right? As a specific, working for this system. And he went downhill from there. And in a nutshell, he thought about that specific thing, right? And what we're talking about, because it went downhill. And he said, we're like, dude, so that mental, thing, we're just.
It was interesting how he didn't talk about it, but we just asked. That, as we're trying to find out more about his product, which is we're trying to help him with this product. But I think that's the superhuman power I think that you have and that we have as a group, is we're just
make those conversations. Sometimes those conversations, you have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Get it out.
There's a bit of fear in there.
And you're kind of everyone has those anxieties and those apprehensions about I don't want to tell this person that because I'm not judging on that. But there's no judgment here. And then he looks at his product, he looked at his work and what he accomplished, and he's just like, oh, I know it sucks, and go, hey, we're not here to do that, dude. We're here to talk about you know what I mean? We're trying to talk about who you are, what your story is, to get your product to be better. So,
and his identity came out. It actually makes our job a lot easier.
Which is great. He's feeling the feelings, and we're like, all right, cool. I better call my lawyer now.
Don't get sticker shock by our cost. We said, don't be sticker shocked now. We give you that proposal. You know what I mean? It was cool.
That's funny.
And I think that's the interaction we believe is very important for us as a group and to our clients and to the community. So
I mean, that's what makes us unique.
Yeah.
We're not some hoity-toity agency that and I think that's another reason why I actually wanted to do this, because I was tired of that.
Right.
And I just didn't see enough representation, or I just felt comfortable in it. So, and dude, this took me 20 plus years to come to fruition. And I feel like this should take another 20 years to make it actually even more real. But, to your viewers and to your audience, I think it's important mentally to be happy that on paper, that makes sense.
Exactly. Chase, as cliche can sound chase the dream, not the money,
Purpose.
Purpose in it. I mean, I come from an agency too, but and I don't want to plug them all the way. I come from a game agency that's one of the biggest on the planet, right? That's here in San Diego. But, and I was the art director there, but, for a while it was great and cushy and stuff, but realistically, the work was awesome and everything like that. But when you start getting to those corporate worlds, at that level, it becomes really corporate, and you just start to lose that little that little edge. You know what I
You
mean?
lose your identity.
Yeah, you lose you, and you just become a robot. I am just gonna make my money. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? We all become those guys. Talking like it. But I mean, it was RoboCop. But it's just like, that's just what happens. But I'm glad that fast forward today that Alan and I got together to kind of start this agency, because it's really something that I really believe in.
That's what we encourage the students that we mentor. At that early age, their brain is so much of a sponge.
Oh yeah.
You can go down that route, which I highly recommend you do. But at the same time, I highly recommend you do your own thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But like us, Rachel, you all had experience it yourself to really understand what it's like. We just tend to tell students you have more potential. I don't want to say we save them before going down.
But you give them an opportunity.
Yeah, there's an opportunity to do other things, and it's a lot easier now these days, I feel, with accessibility of the internet and media, that they can brand themselves the next day.
Yeah, there's more opportunities out there for me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Obviously, with designers that came before us or whatnot, illustrators, there was a time where you were like, okay, what the hell is the freaking internet? You know what I mean? Is that, you know what I'm saying? Now we have the opportunity to do podcasts, to do agencies and things like that. So the opportunities are there, and we just kind of point them in that direction. It's up to those individuals to kind of if you want to take that path. I don't want to influence that when it comes to hey, ultimately you're the ones that are going to make that decision.
Absolutely. And even, bouncing off of that, it's that's why I created the mentorship program for designers here. I mean, it was you can go down the route and you can do all the things and work for these big firms and blah, 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 blah. But we are in a time where you can go off today and become a designer and create your brand and all that stuff. But I don't want you to go out there blindly and get yourself in trouble. Exactly. It's because there's some legal stuff that can go down that you don't want to be a part of because you're not prepared.
Exactly.
So it's the bridge of, maybe you do want to go to school. Maybe you want to see what it's like to work for a firm. Maybe you want to see what it's like to work with an independent designer. So I'm just giving them the opportunity to kind of discover these different paths and really hone in on where do you want to go? Because so many don't even know, they just know they want to do design of some sort, but they have no idea. They could be a rep, they could be a furniture designer, they can, do fabric. I mean, there's so many different ways, and even just designing residential compared to hospitality or commercial or whatever. So, I feel we're kind of these guides to help them navigate this world that is completely open. I mean, it's just blown open for them to go wherever they want. But to be able to get back to our community and people and, give ourselves opportunities that we didn't have when we first went out, I think is huge.
Yeah, I think we tell our students to use us, utilize us as a way to wedge yourself into the industry. And you're right, there's so many different avenues to go down, and that's okay for them to not know. For them to take that first step is kind of the most fearful one. But we put them in a position, at least they're better equipped.
Right.
For interning here with us. We're a small group, so our critiques are a little bit more direct. You get better feedback, you get hands-on type experience from just the software. And that's in return, they're educating us too.
Right.
I feel the students that work with us keep us relevant in some sense.
Yeah. We had taken on an intern that was a friend of mine's daughter, but she graduated from a specific institution, and we needed something when we first started. We thought that, going on this little subject matter was social media, right? And we were social media,
we're dinosaurs when it comes to
that. We're what? Is this just this? We're just, it's just a social thing, right? We didn't think about it as we knew it was important, but as a business avenue, right? Or marketing avenue.
She had all strategy.
She had strategy behind it. She had this, and this, just
went to post.
And we're our jaws were huh? So we're learning, we're learning from her, and she helped us out a lot on that, to understand that. Now we're very confident, where a lot of clients ask us, do you guys do the social media parts of things? Do you guys curate any of those things? Do you offer those services? And we go, yeah, we're confident now that, we could offer that.
Do that.
for sure. So again, we're always learning every day.
Yeah.
From our interns or from our
Education.
That doesn't mean
Education first.
it doesn't mean that I gotta write it in a book.
Comes from conversation, comes from observation.
There you go.
And then you take all that and you create application.
Look at
Wow,
you.
did you get that off a shirt somewhere? I saw that off a shirt somewhere.
I just created my own human-centered design definition.
There you go. It's going to have a whole book. Do you guys have projects that you're excited about, or events or things that are happening in your world?
We're growing gradually.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is our first full year that we're coming up on as a
Amazing.
group. So just the dynamics of working as a trio
Yeah.
is a learning process. But I think we're getting better at our processes internally.
Mhm.
Projects that we're happy about, all of them thus far.
Yeah, so far.
Let's
Let's cover the mic real quick, and let's cover the camera. Like
the ones that paid.
the ones that paid.
But no, we just did an exhibit at the Chula Vista Library,
Oh, nice.
OSBI, which is an acronym for Filipinos of South Bay. That was a big undertaking, and we
Wow.
accomplished it a couple of weeks ago.
What did that
What else?
entail?
Talk about Ron.
I mean, we had to create a mural,
Okay.
on the history of specific businesses and people and groups that were very influential in the South Bay, from like early time periods, probably like the 60s until
There are
present,
four waves of
present,
Filipinos.
present day. So the four waves were, what was it, like the first,
You can't fact check me on that, but I don't know exactly. But we worked on
Yeah.
the third wave,
so
which is mainly our parents
Got it.
that joined the military. But we worked with a bunch of educators and old retired teachers.
Amazing.
so that was the big thing. We had to do a bunch of niches that were part of specific groups,
Okay.
of Filipino Americans.
From the 1920s all into the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So you got like Masaka, which is a dance company in San Diego.
Yeah.
We got the military and government officials. So civic leaders that are Filipino American.
Entrepreneurs and
Athletes.
athletes and educators too as well. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of like a lot of history, with
And artifacts too, a lot of books.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
So
Seeing those.
we designed that. That's something we're very
Wow.
proud of. Culturally, I think it's also in our hometown, but it touches upon the Filipino American odyssey of coming from here with our parents and then
Mhm.
establishing that two cultures into one.
Yeah.
So if you guys ever get a chance, Chula Vista Library off F Street
Okay.
Yeah.
and Street Avenue, check it out. It's in the back corner of the Chula Vista Library, and a lot of cool stories to tell. So we're happy about that. What's coming up?
Well, a slew of other things, but we have a couple proposals out there
Okay.
that we actually have to kind of like put together, send out stuff. But we're always one of those. I mean, we're about to close on a few accounts here.
We have
a
a venture capitalist project
Okay.
that we're working on. We have another educational installation that we're going to be working on with Sweetwater High. Hopefully, if we get our
Very cool.
ideas aligned.
and hopefully an interior, a tech company that we have to follow up with them still, right?
Yeah.
That came in from Chicago that we met at
Oh my
San
gosh.
San Diego Innovation Day. It's an interior thing.
Yeah.
It's funny that it's
Ah,
like
very nice.
interior design project where he wants to do this whole really high end, like he has some interesting quote unquote robotics that he
Okay.
works with that deal with limbs and things of that nature. That
We should get Rachel there to help.
I mean, that would be something.
That's
I mean,
so
off
rad.
top of it,
Yeah.
help. You would probably be one of the ones that we could definitely have like curate a lot of this stuff, because it's definitely, I think, in your wheelhouse to do this. But we would love to design a lot of like the concepts of it.
Yeah.
But for some to actually implement it, we definitely need some help with that.
Hit me up.
But that's something that that's in the horizon.
That's
We're following
amazing.
that out. And a few other clients that
Yeah.
we're looking forward
Rad.
to.
We're hustling, just trying to keep the
Mhm.
lights on at the same time, do work,
That you
good
love.
work
Yeah.
that we love.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got the years almost on a wrap, so a lot of clients have checked out, I think.
Oh,
It's kinda
yeah.
The holiday time,
I
it's
know.
starting to become, they want to go trick or treating. You know, I want to carve up some pumpkins and church, and then, you know, an old Saint Nick is coming into town.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
as you know, as a designer as well, it starts to kind of
It trickles a little
cool
bit. Yeah.
down, and then, you know, hopefully by first fiscal next year, we'll like, you know, we'll just jump back on that, you know, on that train, keep working at this.
Yeah, and I think people just getting inspired and knowing that there's an agency like yours that can take them to the next level as they kind of go into, you know, by the time this podcast goes on air, we'll be in December. So that'll be, you know, winding down, coming in, going within, just in nature and our human selves. And then I think knowing that you guys exist and knowing what you have to offer, that might just be planting a seed, you know, at the perfect time.
Yeah.
And then it's like once spring starts or at the beginning of the year starts, you know, these things start ramping up. That's when I came up with the idea of creating the podcast. And then in spring was the mentorship. So it was like things just start ramping.
Yeah. I mean, we're hoping, I think, you know, one of our biggest projects, I think Allan and I were thinking about it, like, you know, obviously we thought about it when we first linked up, but next year, you know, possibly talking about doing the DDG Academy.
Oh,
So,
how cool is that? Is that gonna be like a mentorship or a membership program?
yeah, like that.
I don't know what the model is, but I do know there's a curriculum in mind. Whether
Yeah.
it's a membership or it's like a design sprint that pairs well with the schools around. I don't know, but since we're both on that educational timeline, it's something we've always talked about. If it happens next year or a year from now, it's all timing, right? So
Absolutely.
I think you just collaborating with people like yourself.
Yeah.
You know, this design is really open-ended in terms of like what we want to offer, whether it's interior or gaming or brand development and illustration.
Absolutely.
I think the idea is just the human-centered, having that discussion at first,
Right,
and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, for sure. And with all these things that are going on and like moving and you know, how do you find ground? How do you stay centered through all of the shifts and changes? And
I mean, for me, like, you know, if I have to like say, I mean, just as, you know, in simple context, if I had to step away from the office, right?
Yeah.
You know, I love to surf and go to the beach, you know, just to kind of like reset and just kind of like do that. And then, you know, like for me, it never shuts off when it comes to creativity because my discipline is I'm a traditional painter and illustrator, you know, with acrylics and oils and stuff like that. But I go home and I go to my own personal studio and I release and I just, you know, recenter myself by, you know, going out and just not basically, and I don't use the terms like I don't go digital anymore. You know what I mean?
Got it.
I just go analog and start painting again, you know, which is, I always said, like, if I had all the money in the world, you know, I would just paint. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, I like that. You know, I'll be like, I'll be just big painting fences, you know, room.
You just keep painting the same room over and over again.
Exactly, you know what I mean? But no, and that's what I would do. I mean, I just go home and I actually just go analog and just go out and just bust out the paints and start painting and whatever I felt. And I think that recenters me.
Wow.
You know,
I think for me, like, it's hard to find that center, but I like being alone. That's weird.
Yeah.
Love being alone. I mean, I have 2 young kids, a beautiful wife at home, an aging dog, and it gets tight in there.
Oh,
So
for
for
sure.
me, I wake up. I try to wake up early at 4.
Oh my
Just
God.
have a moment in my garage, do some workouts, put some motivational speaking engagements into my AirPods. And I like to be alone. Like I'll do walks. You know how it is with the family.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard. But yeah, I like to be at the water too. I'll go for runs, but those moments are rare.
Yeah.
So I take advantage of it. I set on myself, only way I can is there's a lot of moving parts. But anytime I get that moment alone, whether it's driving, that's my moment.
Yeah, driving. That is a nice piece of alone time, for sure. So if you're waking up at 4 a.m, what time are you going to bed?
Usually 10:30.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes I get on my phone and I go through that internet vortex of just looking at things. But yeah, I think the older I've gotten, the less sleep I require. But I do notice I'll take midday naps, being like a quick 20-hour nap. Because I have to be up early and I have to be ready for the kids, you know, get them ready for school. But yeah, probably 4 or 5 hours all I need, and then
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
good. Yeah, that explains all the gray hair. So yeah, that's my time. My time is
Nice.
me time.
Nice. I like
Or
it.
it's here in the office. I think
Yeah.
that's another reason why I don't like creative. Just to get out and
Just to have a
creatively.
creative
Yeah,
cave.
it's hard to create at home. I know Ron has a pretty cool studio at home, but like I'm pretty organized. And if it gets out of whack at home, I
Yeah.
freak out. So I do things
Okay.
here. So this is
Yeah.
a good alone time for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. So how can people find you? How do we get in touch with you? How can we follow your projects and all the rad stuff you're doing?
You can text Ron at 619. We have a website. It's Dynamo
You can
Design Group.
subscribe to my OnlyFans. No, it's just
Ron Padua, OnlyFans.com. We have a website we quickly put together, but it exists. It's called DynamoDesignGroup.com.
Okay.
On Instagram, we are Dynamo Design Group. Find us there. Or you can email us directly. We're pretty accessible at Allan
Nice.
at Dynamo Design Group, or Ron at Dynamo Design Group, or Ryan at Dynamo Design Group. You can find us there. Or you can always just come down to National City.
Yep, we're right here.
We're right across Market on 8th, the new food hall that just opened up. So we invite your audience, your guests to come meet us here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful space. Absolutely. Well, thank you. And we'll put all your links in the show notes so people can access you pretty easily. And then, like I said, we'll share on all the socials and let people know. I'm so excited for you guys. This is your first year, and I've got so many new things. So it's cool kind of growing together and starting at the same sort of time and seeing where
we start at the same time. Is this your first time doing this?
Podcast. Yeah. This year I created the podcast this year. I created the mentorship program this year, and I created the new design business this year.
Oh, there you go. Kind of rely on each other, lean on each other for sure as a way to hire.
Yeah. Podcast was in March. The membership was in June, and then the business was August.
Let me just ask you this.
Damn, girl, you've been busy.
So just in terms of your space, right?
Yeah.
And all the things that you're going on, the questions you ask, I'm just curious to know, like, one that deals with like this holistic space. How important is time?
Huge. It's like the one asset that we don't ever get back, right? And it's so limited, and we can't get more of it.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah. So time this year has been such a huge thing. I definitely could not have done it without like my team, and my biggest supporter is my husband. He's the one that handles most of the caregiving of our boys. Like he makes them breakfast in the morning. He is home when they get home from, it's just incredible. He makes dinner, and he's also started helping me with my design business, doing the admin stuff, the procurement, like the invoices and that kind of thing. And then I have an assistant, Blake, who's come in, and another assistant that's helping with social. Like it's just like a combination of all these people, and I've never asked for help before. And this year has really opened up a space to be able to let people in and to assist me. And these are all people that came to me asking to help. And so I've just been like, okay, this is obviously a sign that I need help, and there's no way I could do it without all of them. So I'm just really strategic, and I'm also like starting to time block my days and making things very efficient. And I think by being a parent, you become very efficient anyway, just with your time with kids, and like getting like, a couple of hours in the middle of the day, and you're like, so you do everything you got to do in those 2 hours, and you got to go pick up the kids or whatever it is. Like you become very efficient with all of that. And then, being really present in the evening too. That's could be hard, because I could be addicted to just wanting to work or be on my phone. And it's like, you got to completely stop it, be present. And it's a lot of balance for sure.
And the whole alignment with, with
the energy.
The energy,
right?
How do you feel that playing a big part into this whole process?
That's huge.
So sometimes I feel like my energy is like depleted.
Oh yeah. So
some energy is like out the roof, but like, how are you able to?
I've definitely had my challenges, especially when having a partnership. So I had a partnership for my design business for 4 years. So there was a lot of balance in there too, but there were times where I'm just exhausted. And I went through burnout in September of last year, huge burnout, because I had a Patreon and what I was doing, and I was getting guests on every week and going live with them constantly. And I had a like breakdown and told them, I'm shutting everything down. I'm closing my Patreon. I'm closing like everything. And those members were just like, no, we would just want to support you. And another member was like, people just want to like pay you just to do what you do. Like, why don't you keep it open? And then if people don't want to do that, they can leave. And I had to totally restructure and break everything back, and people stayed. And so now I have a Patreon membership too, where we read tarot cards once a month. I read everyone's cards for that month. And so that was like, oh my God, I was doing events with them like at least once a week, if not twice. So, I mean, so I restructured and like I said, getting help this year has been the biggest part. And then I'm also looking at my energy in the way of, when you're communicating with clients or people that you interact with, like checking in and seeing, do I feel inspired after I speak with them, or do I feel depleted and tired and stressed out after that? And that's kind of also helped me determine like which relationships I needed to sort of detach from and really build and connect with people like you guys, where like I came out on Monday and I knew like instantly when we were, connecting, that this was going to be somebody or a relationship that I was going to feel good afterward. So then I set, I was intentional about setting time to be like, okay, I'm going to spend an hour to see where this is and how can we work together and use it as an opportunity. But if I was feeling icky or just like tired, then it's like, okay, I'm going to start pulling away from those people. And I'm not going to set up time to do that, because you have to be inspired by others. You have to feed on others' energy, because I can talk to you guys. I can talk to other people, other entrepreneurs, my membership group, like all those people that are there, and I'll spend hours with them. And afterward, I'm still freaking fired up, so that's kind of where you go with it. So.
When she came by, we were talking, I was like, oh man, she's probably feeding off my energy. And I asked her, like, how's my energy? I said, did you want to just get out of this weird dude? Like,
I'll follow it. I mean, my intuition's very strong, so I'll follow it. And I'll know when somebody's a vampire, when they're a sucker of energy. Yeah. Well, and some people will know that you're giving or that you have a lot of energy, and they will like suck it. And it's just like, gotta close those doors.
So you're able to pick up on that instantly, or does it take a while to read?
No, I can pretty much tell. I can pick up on it. And our houses also speak to ourselves. So like when my house starts to get a mess, the plants are dying, things are happening, then it's like, ooh, that's a huge reflection. I need to like get back and take care of myself, retreat a little bit.
I gotta look at those signs, because when our house is a mess, I don't know, I kind of, obviously it's clean, right? The house is clean, but I never took it as a sign of something's happening.
Oh yeah, like if dirty laundry starts piling up, it's like, oh crap, like clean up that energy, clean up that clutter, get things going. Or even just like in relationships with clients or whoever, if it's starting to get messy, then it's like looking around my house, and that's when I'm like, okay, we got to do deep clean, we got to shift this energy, we got to open the windows, we got to like get some fresh air in here.
That's good, because I get mad a lot.
Yeah, well, that's just that energy aggravating, right? It's like you come home after like a stressful day and there's crap everywhere, and then it's just like you're gonna explode. Like you can only take so much.
I definitely got to learn how to channel that a little bit more. Allan's a great guy with like, hey, calm down.
I have to check him a few times.
Calm down, because my face is like we're on the meetings where I'm like.
I'm like, dude, Ron,
are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. That sort of stuff. But he's like, but it's great. And I love to hear that. What she does too. It's very true.
It's so
and
true.
I just
it's like holding a pitbull back, like, dude.
But I'm learning, and I think when I get home too, and think that from what you just mentioned, the same deal is like, get that energy out there. Like, and I live with my girl, and she's 100% remote, and now I'm like, okay, you're home all the day. I gotta go.
Yeah. It's a lot. I know. I spent 3 hours yesterday rearranging the pantry because I was like, I couldn't work anymore. I was like, I gotta like do something with this. I was so aggravated and just.
That's awesome.
I think what's cool is you're taking that moment, you're recognizing it.
Yes, being aware.
being aware. And I think that's important that I've learned as an adult, and maybe it's just because I'm older now, advanced in my age, but it's like that moment. The moment you recognize, wow, I'm actually not at my best right now.
Yeah.
Take a step back, do my little workout and reassess, and then come back. And I think
excuse ourselves. And it's really interesting, having kids and being able to see when they get to that breaking point, or, where they're exhausted and they just like shut down. It's like, oh, okay, let's recenter, let's recollect, let's like just give ourselves a break. Not a timeout, just like a break to like cry if we need to cry and just let things go, and then be able to come back when we feel like we've been able to release some of that.
Yeah, nice. It's a lot of managing.
Yeah.
Away. Damn. Well,
it's a lot. Awesome. Yeah, and I have not perfected it, man. I
don't think you ever will. Like, there's no formula for it.
No, I just keep practicing.
Right? You just got to go through those experiences, to know
do it.
To deal with it and stuff. I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any children. I'm sorry, but but I have nephews and stuff that are teenagers and stuff.
Yeah.
There's things in there that you kind of just go, can I learn from that or not?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, so you're just kind of like, I don't know, but nonetheless, though, that's
cool. Every day. Yeah.
Every day.
All right. Well, I appreciate our time together. Thank you again. And like I said, I'll be sharing you to everybody, and I'm sure everyone's just going to love hearing about your stories and what you guys do. And we'll be excited to support you all, and just keep me in the loop with everything that's going on. And there's new things happening.
Thank you. We appreciate you having us on your podcast.
Great.
This is awesome.
Great experience, and we sending energy to you as well as we work together on just developing a stronger community.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that comes up, let me know. And you're going to be doing a podcast soon, I'm sure. You'll be launching one.
I need to research more and kind of learn how to do some posts and all that.
Yeah.
I might ask you for some questions and some tidbits. But in the near future, it's coming along.
Amazing.
We'll have you on as well once we get
We appreciate you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Come by anytime.
I will. You've been listening to the Holistic Interior Design Business Podcast. If it's one that you have been enjoying, please share with anyone else that you think can benefit from this knowledge. And leave us a 5-star review that helps us get seen and found by other new and aspiring interior designers. And if you're looking for mentorship, I invite you to join our club here at the Design Coven. It's a bridge between school and real life interior design. We get in much deeper there. We have virtual and in-person events, so everyone is welcome. You don't need to have a design degree to be part of it, just an interest in holistic interior design. I also want to thank our editor, Marcy Ferry, Blake Ferris, for all of her special help with the podcast, our social media posts, newsletter, and lastly, Kinseth Thibodeau, who is our music composer. Until next time, be well, and we will see each other soon.